Earth was having an ordinary day. Traffic filled the streets. People walked to work. Children laughed in schoolyards. Planes crossed the sky. No one knew this day would be remembered forever. High above Earth, satellites watched the empty black of space. Then, something changed. One satellite detected a shadow where nothing should exist. Then another. Then hundreds. Automatic alarms started sounding inside space monitoring stations across the world. Scientists rushed to their screens. At first, the objects looked like stars, but stars do not move in formation. The objects grew larger. Clearer. Metallic. Huge. Thousands of ships were appearing at the edge of the solar system. They were not human. They were not friendly. Within minutes, every major space agency confirmed the same truth. An unknown fleet had arrived. Panic spread faster than any virus. Phones lit up. News channels interrupted regular programs. Anchors struggled to keep calm. The ships were not just passing by, they were heading toward Earth. At extreme speed. Military radars locked onto the fleet, but no weapons were fired. No missiles launched. Human commanders knew something terrible. These ships were far more advanced than anything Earth possessed. World leaders held emergency meetings. Some demanded an attack. Some demanded peace. Most sat in silence, unsure what to do. Then a signal came. Not from Earth. From the fleet. Every screen on the planet went black. Then a single symbol appeared. A skull surrounded by broken stars, followed by a deep, cold voice. This world is claimed. A pause. You will surrender. Another pause. Resistance means extinction. The message ended. No explanation. No mercy. Across Earth, fear took hold. People screamed. Families held each other. Many believed the end had arrived. Religious buildings filled. Hospitals prepared for mass casualties. Stock markets collapsed. In minutes, some cities erupted into chaos. Others fell into stunned silence. The alien fleet crossed past the moon. Telescopes showed terrifying detail. Each ship was larger than Earth's biggest cities. Black armored hulls, glowing red lights, weapons covering every surface. They moved with perfect coordination. Inside the Zeron flagship, alien commanders watched Earth. They felt no fear, only boredom. Was small. Weak. Primitive. Their empire had crushed civilizations far older than humanity. To them, Earth was just another resource world. Another conquest. They gave orders to prepare invasion formations. The first wave would destroy Earth's orbital defenses. The second wave would begin surface cleansing. Victory calculations showed 100% success. On Earth, most people believed humanity was doomed. But deep underground, far beneath mountains and oceans, a hidden facility came to life. Lights flickered on in massive dark chambers. Long sealed doors slowly opened. Silent machines awakened. A small group of humans stood inside a command room. They did not panic. They did not scream. They had trained for this moment their entire lives. This place did not exist on any map. Its name was never spoken publicly. Ares Division, a global black project created after humans discovered they were not alone. For decades, humanity had quietly prepared. Not for diplomacy. Not for surrender, but for survival. A senior commander looked at the giant screen showing the incoming fleet. Thousands of enemy ships. Impossible odds. He spoke calmly. Initiate contingency. Ghost officers hesitated. This plan had never been tested. If it failed, Earth would fall. But there was no other choice. Above Earth, the alien fleet continued its advance. On Earth, hidden weapons powered up. Humanity was about to play its last card, and the galaxy had no idea what humans were truly capable of. Inside the largest ship of the Zeron fleet, Everything was calm. The command chamber was enormous. Dark metal walls. Curved high above, red lights pulsed slowly. Holographic star. Maps floated in the air. At the center stood Supreme Commander. Vorthak. Tall. Broad. Covered in black armor. His eyes glowed a dim crimson. He watched. Earth on the main display. A small blue. World. Fragile. Insignificant. Around him. Zyran admirals. Studied data streams. Energy readings. Weapon status. Fleet formations. All reports were perfect. Not a single Zyran ship had taken damage. Not a single system showed danger. One admiral stepped forward. Human technology is primitive, he said. They rely on chemical rockets and weak energy weapons. Another admiral added, their satellites are poorly shielded. Their planetary defenses are outdated. Vorthak made a low, amused sound. So they are exactly as expected, he said. The Zyran Dominion had conquered over 300 star systems. Some species had begged. Some had tried to fight. None had succeeded. The pattern was always the same. The Zyran fleet arrived. The enemy panicked. Enemy attacked. The Zyran fleet erased them. Vorthak believed Earth would be no different. He gave a simple order. Begin invasion formation. Across the fleet, thousands of warships shifted positions. Like a giant metal storm. They moved into perfect attack lines. Heavy destroyers moved forward. Carrier ships opened launch bays. Inside, millions of invasion troops waited. Each soldier was grown for war, trained only to obey, programmed only to kill. Zy run. Scientists monitored Earth communications. Human governments were arguing. Human news channels showed fear. Human civilians were crying. The scientists shared the footage with the command staff. Laughter echoed across the chamber. They are already broken, an admiral said. Vorthak nodded. A species that argues during extinction is not worthy of survival. He ordered a small test. One Zyron cruiser fired a single shot at a distant human satellite. A thin beam of purple energy flashed across space. The satellite vanished. No explosion. No debris. It simply ceased to exist. Zyran. Sensors recorded no defensive response. No counterattack. No movement. Vorthak felt satisfied. Transmit again, he said. A new message was sent toward Earth. You have 10 planetary rotations to surrender. Failure will result in total cleansing. Vorthak leaned back in his command throne. To him, the battle was already over, but deep inside. Zyran engineering decks. Small strange readings began to appear. Tiny fluctuations in navigation signals. Minor delays in quantum relay. Timing. Nothing serious. Nothing alarming. Engineers logged the anomalies and moved on. Small problems always happened. During large fleet movements. No one reported them to command. Meanwhile, on Earth, inside the Ares facility, massive generators hummed. Cables thicker than tree trunks glowed with faint blue light. Technicians worked in silence. Sweat ran down faces. Screens displayed complex wave patterns. A young engineer looked at the data. Signal. Alignment at 80%, she said. An older scientist frowned. It must reach 100. Another technician whispered, if we fail. No one finished the sentence. The ghost pulse device sat at the center of the chamber. Eyed black sphere covered in shifting symbols. No one fully understood how it worked. Humans had built it using fragments of alien technology and decades of trial and error. It was dangerous. Unstable. But it was their only hope. The senior ARES commander watched the countdown clock. 10 hours until the Zyran deadline. 10 hours until Earth faced annihilation. He spoke quietly. We wait. Above Earth, the Zyran fleet continued to gather. They felt no fear. They felt no doubt. They believed victory was certain. They had no idea. They were already walking into a trap. Time moved slowly inside the Ares facility. Every second felt heavy dot screens. Showed endless lines of data. Energy levels rising. Wave. Patterns stabilizing. Technicians spoke in low voices. No one smiled. No one joked. Everyone knew what was at stake. The ghost. Pulse device sat inside a reinforced chamber. It looked simple. A smooth. Black sphere. No buttons. No lights. Only strange symbols. Moving across its surface like shadows. Humans did not truly understand the technology. They only knew what it could do. It could disrupt quantum networks. It could blind advanced navigation systems. If it worked. The young engineer checked her screen. Again, signal alignment at 98%. The senior commander stood with his hands behind his back. His face was calm, but his eyes showed tension. Hold until 100, he said. Above Earth. The Zyran fleet prepared its first strike. Thousands of ships powered up weapons. Planet cracker. Cannons glowed with purple energy. Carrier bays opened. Fighter craft launched in endless waves. From the surface of Earth, people could see strange lights in the sky. Like new stars forming. Children pointed. Adults cried. Some people filmed. Others prayed. Most felt helpless. Inside the Zyran flagship, Supreme Commander Vorthak watched the countdown. 3 hours until cleansing. Felt bored. There was no challenge. No worthy enemy. Just another weak species waiting to disappear. Then, inside a Zyran navigation control room, an officer frowned. Minor phase drift detected, he said. Another officer glanced at his console. I see it too. Very small. They ran a quick system check. Everything reported green. No failures. No alerts. The officers ignored it. Back on Earth. Signal alignment at 100%. The young engineer said. The room went silent. Every eye turned toward the senior commander. He took a slow breath. Activate ghost pulse. A technician hesitated. Sir, once we start, we cannot stop. The commander nodded. I know. The technician placed his hand on a glass panel. He pressed down. Nothing happened. No explosion. No light. No vibration. The ghost pulse sphere remained dark. Some technicians thought it had failed. A woman whispered, "Did it work?" No one answered. Silence filled the chamber. 30 seconds passed. Then 60. Above Earth. The Zyran fleet continued moving. Weapons stayed charged. Fighters kept launching. Vorthak smiled. Humans have chosen silence, he said. Prepare to fire. Then, inside Zyran systems, something began to break. Navigation numbers changed. Star maps shifted slightly. Distances no longer matched. Ships began reporting tiny course corrections. Automatic systems adjusted, but each adjustment made things worse. One destroyer drifted half a degree off course. Another ship tried to compensate. Their energy shields brushed. Alarm. Lights flashed. Collision warning. A Zyran officer shouted. The two massive ships clipped each other. Armor plates tore away. Energy surged. Both ships spun out of formation. Other ships tried to avoid them. More course corrections. More errors. Like a ripple moving through water. Inside Zyran engineering decks, alarms began to ring. Quantum relay instability. Navigation coherence dropping. Engineers tried to reboot systems. It did nothing. The numbers kept changing. Vorthak's smile faded. Report, he ordered. An officer turned toward him. Small navigation errors across the Prasthakaras. Fleet. Supreme Commander. Vorthak growled. Fix it. The officer swallowed. We cannot locate the source. Outside the flagship, formation lines were no longer perfect. Small gaps appeared. Ships drifted closer. Together. Some drifted farther apart. The fleet was slowly losing its invisible glue. Back on Earth, ARES sensors showed new data. Red warning icons appeared across Xeron fleet displays. The young engineer stared at her screen. "It's working," she whispered. The senior commander closed his eyes for 1 second, then opened them. "Maintain pulse." The invisible weapon had been fired, and the Xyron fleet did not even know. They were under attack. Yet chaos spread through the Xyron fleet. What began as small errors became disasters. Navigation screens showed impossible numbers. Star maps twisted. Distances stretched and collapsed. Ships no longer knew where they truly were. Automatic correction systems kept firing thrusters. Each correction made things worse. 2 cruisers smashed into each other. Their shields flared. Armor cracked. Both ships exploded into burning debris. Nearby vessels tried to dodge. They collided with others. A chain reaction began. 1 collision became 10. 10 became hundreds. Explosions flashed across space like violent lightning. Inside the Xyron flagship, alarms screamed. Red lights flooded the command chamber. Officers shouted over each other, "We are losing formation." Multiple collisions. Navigation failure spreading. Supreme Commander Vorthak slammed his fist into his throne. "Shut it down," he roared. "Cut quantum navigation. Switch to manual control." Engineers tried, but Xyron ships were designed around quantum navigation. Without it, their systems could not properly function. Manual controls responded with delay. Some did not respond at all. Ships drifted blindly. Inside several vessels, crews watched helplessly as nearby warships grew larger on their screens. There was no time to escape. Impact. Fire. End. Entire squadrons vanished in seconds. The once perfect invasion force became a broken storm of metal and flame. But Earth was not finished. Across the solar system, hidden human machines awakened. Inside asteroids, inside abandoned probes, inside hollowed moons, silent doors opened. Small black drones powered on. No lights. No signals. No radio transmissions. They had waited for decades. Now their mission began. Each drone locked onto the nearest confused Xyron ship. They did not hesitate. They did not warn. They accelerated at extreme speed. When close enough, they fired a single concentrated energy shot. Then self-destructed. One Xyron destroyer lost power. Another had its reactor pierced. Another was torn apart from the inside. More explosions lit the darkness. Xyron sensors could not track the drones. Drones were too small, too fast, too silent. To Xyron crews, ships were simply dying around them. Vorthak watched fleet numbers drop rapidly. Tens of thousands. Then hundreds of thousands. "This is impossible," he whispered. He ordered a retreat. "All remaining ships, fall back and prepare emergency jumps." The order spread slowly through damaged systems. Some ships tried to turn away. They collided with drifting wrecks. Others attempted hyperspace jumps, but their coordinates were corrupted. One ship jumped directly into a star. It vanished in a flash. Another appeared inside a gas giant, crushed instantly. Some ships emerged inside. Other ships. Both were destroyed. Space filled with fire, twisted metal, and frozen bodies. The Xyron fleet tried to flee, but they could not escape themselves. Within minutes, the greatest invasion force ever assembled was reduced to scattered wreckage. Only broken hulls remained, most of them drifting toward the orbit of Mars. Not a single Xyron ship reached Earth. Inside the Ares command room, no one cheered. They watched the screens in silence. Millions of enemy signatures. Now, almost none. The young engineer wiped tears from her eyes. "Earth is still safe." The senior commander nodded slowly. "For now." Above Earth, the sky grew dark again. The strange lights disappeared. People came out of shelters. They looked upward, confused, afraid, hopeful. They did not yet know what had happened, but they knew one thing. The invasion had stopped. Somehow. Humanity had survived, but the story was not over. The galaxy had just learned a terrifying lesson. For several minutes after the battle, space was silent. No weapons fired. No explosions. Only drifting wreckage and frozen bodies. The Ziran invasion was over. On Earth, communication networks slowly stabilized. Military radar showed no enemy ships. Astronomers confirmed the same truth. The massive fleet that had terrified the world was gone. People did not celebrate at first. They were afraid it was a trick. They waited. Minutes passed. Then hours. Nothing happened. Slowly, the truth began to sink in. Humanity had survived. Across cities, people stepped outside. They looked at the sky. Some cried. Some fell to their knees. Families hugged. Strangers hugged. Earth had come within seconds of extinction. And yet, it still existed. Inside the Ares facility, commanders studied long-range sensor data. Most Ziran ships were destroyed, but a few damaged vessels had escaped the battlefield. They were sending emergency transmissions. Human listening stations intercepted them. The messages were chaotic, broken, filled with fear. Navigation systems cursed. Human space is poisoned. They do not fight normally. One transmission repeated across multiple channels. Earth is death. Another message followed. Do not approach. Soul, do not provoke the humans. The Ziran Dominion was collapsing. Their leadership had been destroyed. Their fleets shattered. Rival empires began preparing to claim Ziran territory, but none planned to move toward Earth, not after what happened. The senior Ares commander stood before a small group of world leaders. For the first time in history, the truth was revealed. Humans were not helpless. Humans were not unprepared. For decades, humanity had secretly built defenses, not to conquer, not to dominate, only to make sure Earth would never be taken easily. The commander recommended something bold. We should send a message. Some leaders hesitated. What kind of message? A warning. He replied, a single transmission was prepared. It was sent using Ziran communication frequencies. It was translated into hundreds of alien languages. The message was short. We do not seek war, but we will not be conquered. If you come to Earth as friends, you will be welcomed. If you come to Earth as enemies, do not come at all. The message spread across the galaxy. Alien governments intercepted it. Military analysts studied battle data. They saw the truth. Earth had not used giant fleets. Earth had not used planet-killing weapons. Earth had used patience. Planning. Hidden systems, precision strikes. Humans did not fight like warriors. Humans fought like hunters. Quiet. Patient. Invisible. Across star systems, new rules were written. Avoid Earth. Observe from a distance. Never threaten humans. Earth gained a new name among alien species. The Quiet Death. World. A world that looks weak. A world that appears divided, but hides unimaginable danger beneath its surface. On Earth, most people would never learn about the ghost pulse. They would never know how close extinction truly came. Life slowly returned to normal. Children went back to school. Shops reopened. Planes filled the sky again. But something had changed. Humanity was no longer alone in the universe. And the universe had learned something important. Humans are peaceful, but if pushed, humans end wars before they begin.